Two things can be true at once. Donald Trump pretty obviously violated classified document statutes. They have him basically dead to rights on those charges. I mean, he literally said on tape, folks, legal advice, never do the criming on tape. He literally said on a tape, here are classified documents. I could have unclassified them. I didn't declassify them. You should look at them, right? I mean, that is doing the crime on the tape. So, should he be prosecuted or not? Well, in any normal circumstance, the answer would be yes, sure, why not? Of course, if you commit a crime, you should be prosecuted for the crime. The problem is, once James Comey let Hillary Clinton off the hook for crimes, at that point, the answer becomes no. And the answer becomes no, because if only one side has to play by the rules, then the rules are not rules. They are just a double standard. They are just a weapon. And the same thing is happening right here. So back in 2014, I actually advocated for a full-scale use of RICO to go after politicians. Because I said, listen, what I would like is actually widespread use of RICO to go after various criminal enterprises run by politicians. I wrote an entire book called The People versus Barack Obama, in which I suggested that Barack Obama had very likely engaged in, by Fannie Willis's definition, RICO violations. Take, for example, the IRS scandal. The IRS scandal, Barack Obama and his minions went out in public and repeatedly said that it would be amazing if the IRS audited and removed the tax exemption for pretty much every conservative group in America leading up to the 2010 election. And then they actually went and they did it. Right? Then the IRS went and did it. And he said, well, I never meant for them to do it. Well, I mean, again, that looks very much like the sort of mafioso activity RICO was meant to stop in the first place. Now, when I made this argument back in 2014, the entire press that reviewed the book said, this is crazy. You could never do this. How could you possibly suggest something like this? And my answer was, you know what? Maybe if we finally started holding politicians accountable for their various criminal enterprises, they would stop doing the criming. But the problem is this. They ignored Barack Obama, and then they ignored Hillary Clinton. And they're currently ignoring Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. By the way, very solid case that the sort of RICO violations that we are currently talking about with regards to Donald Trump and election of 2020, those far better fit the criminal violations committed by Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. You want to talk about a criminal enterprise? You want to talk about a RICO criminal enterprise, like a family. Let's say that you had a family, like an actual honest-to-God family, not like a mafia family, a family family. Now, the mafia families start off as families. Let's say you had a family, and that family sent a bagman to foreign countries to pick up cash on behalf of every relative of the vice president of the United States while the vice president was presiding over foreign policy in those countries. I mean, does the plausible deniability there sound sort of like a mafia situation? When Joe Biden was literally calling into Hunter Biden's business meetings and saying, how is the weather over there? Doesn't that sound exactly like what a mafioso would do? You get the Don on the line and tell the local bartender, how's the weather down there? And then everybody knows pretty clearly that if the bartender doesn't pay off the mafioso, then the place goes up in flames. I mean, that looks a lot like a RICO violation. I mean, if you're going to talk about RICO violations, you can find RICO violations pretty much anywhere. And you know what? I'd be kind of okay with that if this were even remotely evenly applied. But it is not remotely evenly applied. It is only applied to Donald Trump. Only. So again, if you want to have a set of rules that applies to everybody evenly, I'm totally for it. But if the rules only apply to Donald Trump, we can all see what you're doing. Well, they're going to get their wish. The rules will be applied to everyone, but not evenly in fully partisan fashion. So there's a clip going around of me in 2014 talking about the book that I mentioned, The People versus Barack Obama. Here's what I had to say at the time about the use of RICO to go after politicians.
I'm not sure we could indict Washington, but I think that certainly...
I'm sure something was done.
Washington was relatively clean, but if you look at George W. Bush, or if you looked at Bill Clinton, or if you looked at Ronald Reagan, sure. I mean, the answer would be that you could, and people should be wary. I mean, this is sort of the case that I'm making, is that we've become so comfortable with the executive branch of the government abusing its citizens and violating our rights and violating what they're structured to do under the law, that we've just become used to it. And if we start treating them as criminals, maybe they'll think twice before they act so criminally in the future.
Okay, notice what I say in that clip. In that clip, I say that you could theoretically apply these sorts of legal violations to any president, right? I'm talking about George W. Bush and Ronald Reagan, both Republicans, and Bill Clinton, a Democrat, right? I'm talking about pretty much every president back in 2014, including Barack Obama. And the point that I'm making is if you evenly apply the law, okay. But guess what's happened? No remote even application of the law. And herein lies the problem, folks. If you're going to use RICO to go after Donald Trump, you better damn well use it to go after Hillary Clinton and the Hillary Clinton Foundation. You better damn well use it to go after Barack Obama and Barack Obama's involvement in a wide variety of scandals under his tenure. You better damn well use it to go after Hunter and Joe Biden, which looks more like a RICO violation than anything that Donald Trump has done here. That's the point. You know, a company is looking out for you and they actually upgrade your service and don't charge you for it. This is great news for new and current Pure Talk customers. Pure Talk just added data to every plan and includes a mobile hotspot with no price increase whatsoever. If you've considered Pure Talk before, but you haven't made the switch, take a look again. For just $20 a month, you'll get unlimited talk, text, and now 50% more 5G data plus their new mobile hotspot. This is why I love Pure Talk. They're veteran-owned. They only hire the best customer service team located right here in the United States of America. Most families are saving almost $1,000 a year while enjoying the most dependable 5G network in the country. Remember, you vote with how you spend your cash, so stop supporting those woke wireless companies that don't actually like you very much. When you go to puretalk.com/Shapiro, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month because they actually value you. That's puretalk.com/Shapiro. Pure Talk is wireless for Americans, by Americans. I use them for all my business coverage. And, I run a very large business. So that means that I really rely on them for some of the most important stuff in my life. You should too. They have a great cell network. You'll enjoy their coverage and you'll enjoy the price. puretalk.com/Shapiro to save an additional 50% off your very first month of coverage. Pure Talk, again, wireless for Americans, by Americans. Simple fact of the matter, do not like vegetables. Vegetables, bad. They taste terrible. God's revenge on man. But you need them. You need them, sadly, because otherwise you will not be healthy. But this is where I rely on Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature, fruits and veggies are a great way to make sure that you're getting essential nutritional ingredients every single day. The American Heart Association recommends 4 to 5 servings each of fruits and veggies every single day. That's a lot of fruits and veggies. Balance of Nature can help you. Through Balance of Nature's advanced cold vacuum process, the vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients of the fruit and vegetables are preserved, so you can get that vital nutrition in every capsule. Balance of Nature is a whole food supplement with no additives, fillers, extracts, synthetics, pesticides, or added sugar. The only thing in those capsules is pure fruits and veggies. Balance of Nature sent a bunch of their product down to the studio for my team to try. Everybody loves them. I've been taking them. They're kosher, so I can use them myself. I was really excited to find out, as I say, that it was certified kosher, so I could use them. It's made me feel a lot better, given the fact that I'm not getting enough sleep and my kids are sick all the time. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Shapiro for 35% off your first preferred order. The absolutely uneven status of these sorts of prosecutions, it will not stand. What will end up happening is there will be motivated Republican prosecutors who do bring RICO violations against Joe and Hunter Biden, for example. All there needs to be is a prosecutor with courage in a local jurisdiction to do this. That's all that really needs to happen here. And a friendly jury. And now we can play this game all day long because they broke the glass. The case that they were making against me, and I'll admit that it was at least a case, is once you break the glass, then everyone will be prosecuted. The case I was making is fine. Let's do it. But here's the problem. Once you've done it, get ready. Get ready because this is where we're going to be. And there will be a downside effect here because it is not, in fact, a nonpartisan DOJ even-handedly applying the law. We now have a bunch of local DAs all over the country deciding that they want to get their name on the paper. And that's why you got Fannie Willis in Georgia doing this. And this is why you got the prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, up in Manhattan doing this. People want their name in the paper. You can expect this on all sides. One of the predictable results of this is that people who have families, people who have a sense of shame, people who do not wish to see their lives dug through, are simply going to stay away from politics. That's the actual natural effect of all of this, is that the best will not go into politics anymore. It'll be people who are pretty much willing to slug it out in court every single day because that's what it's going to take from here on in. So I'm not sure the Democrats understand the can of worms they've now opened. They've been saying for a long time that Donald Trump, he's not normal. It's not normal that he was president of the United States, and his behavior is not normal. And I will be the first to admit that I think that Donald Trump has behaved in ways that are not typically associated with the word presidential. But in terms of the behavior that he is currently being indicted for, the notion that it is unprecedented for a president of the United States to engage in borderline criminal activity in RICO violating ways, that obviously is not true. And Donald Trump is not an exception in this way. And he will not be treated as one for very long if Republicans have their wits about them. And it may be that we've now entered the era of mutually assured destruction. The only way to go back to something resembling normal is to absolutely go up against, for example, Hunter and Joe Biden, and not just pursue something like impeachment, but pursue criminal indictment in some sort of state law against Hunter and Joe Biden in exactly the same way that a local Georgia RICO violation is being pursued. I promise you there is something there with regard to the Bidens that looks a lot more like a mafioso family than anything that Donald Trump did with Rudy Giuliani at the Four Seasons gardening store or something. Are you tired of the lies and the twist of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.